God Shiva speaks. The Father says, those of you who follow Srimad, elevated directions very well, claim a number ahead at the beginning of heaven time, whereas those of you who follow Srimad well today, but tomorrow mix the dictates of your own mind with Srimad because of body consciousness, claim a number towards the end of heaven time. Even though you may have come last in starting to study this Raja Yoga knowledge, those of you who follow Srimad accurately can claim a number ahead. Gateway to heaven. God Shiva speaks. The Father says, you souls are now going to go back to the land of peace, which is also called the soul world. I, God, the one Father of all souls, will first of all take you to the land of peace. Who will go first? The more you stay in remembrance of me, God, the one Father of all souls, the more you race ahead. You are now becoming soul conscious once again. This takes a lot of effort. Only the one who is the master of the home can show you the way back home. No human being can show you the way back home to the soul world. It isn't the law. Only I, God, the one Father of all souls, came and is showing you the way back home to the soul world. Gateway to heaven. God Shiva speaks. The Father says, it isn't that soul in the golden aged heaven say that I, God, the one Father of all souls, liberate you from sorrow and send you to the land of happiness, which is heaven time. No, only at this time do I, God, the one Father of all souls, explains this Raja Yoga knowledge to you Brahmins, the more-born creations of Prajapita Brahma souls. Only at this time does knowledge continue in this way. This part then comes to an end and the reward begins. Gateway to heaven. God Shiva speaks. The Father says, only I, God, the one Father of all souls, plays the part of making impure souls pure. And I, God, the one Father of all souls, played this part at the end of every world cycle. Gateway to heaven. God Shiva speaks. The Father says, it is only in Bharat there were deities, residents of heaven, who were 16 celestial degrees full of purity, full of all virtues. The deities then had to take rebirths and definitely had to come down the ladder of purity. The degrees of purity have to decrease. However, the deities are not aware of this in heaven. You Brahmins, the more-born creations of Prajapita Brahma souls, intellects have all of this knowledge at this time. Gateway to heaven. God Shiva speaks. The Father says, worthy of worship souls becoming worshippers only applies to you Brahman souls. It is remembered that Brahmans emerged from the mouth of Prajapita Brahma, so you must surely have been adopted. Prajapita Brahma was also impure at first, and he then became pure. You become Brahmins and then make effort to become pure deities, residents of heaven, once again. Gateway to heaven. Shiva speaks. The Father says, at the beginning of every world cycle, there is a kingdom of Lakshmi and Narayan, which is called heaven. In heaven, there is the undivided, original, eternal deity religion, where deities, residents of heaven, live in unity. There cannot be any conflict there, because Maya, which is sin, does not exist there in heaven. Gateway to heaven. God Shiva speaks. The Father says, I, incorporeal God, the Supreme Soul, the Supreme Father of all souls, came and is teaching you Brahmins the malpoint creations of Prajapita Brahma's souls. This is not mentioned in any of the scriptures. Gateway to Heaven. God Shiva speaks. The Father says, the kingdom of heaven begins with Lakshmi and Narayan. The era begins with their kingdom. The first era of the golden age is that of the conquerors of sin. When Sri Krishna takes birth, there are still some people remaining who have to return back home to the soul world. This is the confluence age to becoming pure from impure. The new era, which is the kingdom of Lakshmi and Narayan, starts when everyone has become completely pure, and that is then called the land of Vishnu. Gateway to Heaven. Lord Shiva speaks. The Father says, a race is going on. As yet, no one has passed the final test. It will be said, at present, so and so is clever. If a rosary of victory has to be created now, it will be very different from the earlier rosary. Those who were the fourth and fifth number beads have died. Those who were also placed in a number ahead have now gone to the back, and the new ones have gone ahead. Gateway to Heaven. Lord Shiva speaks. The Father says, I, God, the one Father of all souls, knows everything. I continue to tell you Brahmins, the malborn creations of Prajapita Brahma souls, everything. Earlier your stage was good, whereas your position has now gone down because you do not follow Srimad, elevated directions accurately. You follow the dictates of your own mind. Gateway to Heaven. God Shiva speaks. The Father says, you will become the masters of the pure world in heaven through the power of yoga. Remembrance of me, God, the one Father of all souls. There is no other way. Theirs is physical power, and this is why they continue to use their intellects to invent bombs. There is no question of an army here. No one in this world knows how you Brahmins, the malborn creations of Prajapita Brahma souls, receive world sovereignty through the power of yoga. Only I, God, the one Father of all souls, can teach this Raja Yoga. Constantly remember me, God, the one Father of all souls alone. Gateway to Heaven. God Shiva speaks. The Father says, just continue to remember me, God, the one Father of all souls, and study this Raja Yoga well, and your intellects will open fully. Children are taught everything fully. Say Baba, Father, say Mama. Only when a child say this will he learn. How could he learn it without saying it? Therefore, the mouths of you Brahmins, the malborn creations of Prajapita Brahma souls, are made to open so that you can speak. You have to make effort. You have to give I, God, the one Father of all souls, introduction, the highest and high, the creator of everyone. All of you Brahman souls receive the inheritance of heaven from me, God, the one Father of all souls alone. Gateway to Heaven. Lord Shiva speaks. The Father says, if you don't follow Srimad, elevated direction from me, God, the one Father of all souls, your intellects will become locked once again, and the arrow will not strike the target. The mercury of happiness will not rise. Gateway to Heaven. Lord Shiva speaks. The Father says, Many Brahmins, the milk-born creations of Prajapita Brahma's souls, are body conscious and does not study the Murli, flute of knowledge. What knowledge will those of you who don't even study the Murli give? Such a variety of new points continue to emerge. You have to make effort to become soul conscious once again. You also have to renounce your old bodies. This costume is also dead. Gateway to heaven. God Shiva speaks. The Father says, no one's service can remain hidden. No weaknesses can remain hidden either. Maya, which is sin, is very devilish. She continues to make you perform many type of wrong actions. If you make a mistake, instantly ask me, God, the one Father of all souls, for forgiveness. Remain very clean inside and out. Don't take any personal service from anyone. Prepare food for yourself. Do both spiritual and physical service. Gateway to heaven. God Shiva speaks. The Father says, if someone receive the lift and begin to do good service, you shall be happy. What is there to be jealous about in this? You must never engage yourself in thinking about others. Some people spread rumors. Even if someone says something, why should you cause more damage by relating that to others? There are many who make up lies. So and so is like this and like that. Never listen to such false things. If someone tells you wrong things, then hear but don't hear. Never spoil anyone's heart. Gateway to heaven. God Shiva speaks. The Father says, constantly remember me, God, the one Father of all souls alone. To remember anyone else is ignorance. Only I, God, the one Father of all souls, give you Brahmins, the milk-born creations of Prajapita Brahma souls, the knowledge of the beginning, middle, and the end of this world cycle. I also give you teachings for yoga, remembrance. All others will give you wrong instructions for yoga. That is called physical yoga, to keep the body fit. This is spiritual yoga. This Raja Yoga is not mentioned anywhere else. No one other than I, God, the one Father of all souls, can teach you Raja Yoga. They don't even know this. You Brahman souls will study this Raja Yoga and then go and rule in heaven. There are no images of Raja Yoga. You create those pictures to explain to others. Gateway to heaven.